This is TWiT.
So Nate, this is something that it's kind of one of my OCD habits to check on my PC at least once a year because, you know, if a PC is just sitting there running not hard, but over time, it will collect dust. There's a lot of gunk that gets caught inside of it.
Totally. You vacuum your floor, I hope. You mop your floors, I hope.
Yeah.
You know, every once in a while, you'll wash your car and even vacuum that, right? You know, if this is in your home, that stuff's going to get dusty too. There's going to be little, you know, so yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yes, especially if we're talking about our personal computers, like if you set it on the floor, chances are it's going to suck up more dust. I like to have them under my desk because they're quieter down there, but if you have it on top of your desk, there's a little bit less chance that it'll suck up corgi hair, which is my problem that I have.
Yeah.
But if you start the video, Burke, so I took the opportunity to clean out my PC, and your first reaction might be to like take a vacuum or something to your PC, which is totally not a good idea. You can create a static charge, which will destroy some of your components.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
No, but as you can see, like inside my PC is pretty dusty. I haven't cleaned it in about a year. A lot of the dust is going to collect around fans and edges like that. And if you have a filter, like my case comes with a filter that slides into the front, so that catches a lot of it.
Thank God that that's there, because everything else would be worse, right? I mean,
it would be worse. Like it's already kind of bad in there.
It's like that dryer sheet, moldy, whatever.
Oh yeah, totally. The lint collector. But what you're gonna need is compressed air cans. I have a couple of them because I switch back and forth. I needed a lot of compressed air for the amount of dust I had in there. But what I like to do when I first start cleaning out the PC is definitely go to a well-ventilated area. So I'm doing this outside. I remove the hard drives, remove the disk drive, because if I'm using compressed air, I don't want a lot of that stuff getting into the hard drive should be safe, but I don't want dust getting into my disk drive.
Better safe than sorry.
Exactly. And so then I just kind of go around with the compressed air, try and push out as much of the dust with that as I can. You can't get everything. Resist the urge to use a wet towel or something like that.
So don't use like diaper wipes or something?
Don't use diaper wipes. You can use rubbing alcohol if you want to do that. I had on hand one of the little, I don't know, I guess hand wipes, you know, that has rubbing alcohol on it. You can use that because that'll evaporate, but don't use water. That's bad for electronics. It's pretty basic. But once you start to wipe down the fan edges, kind of get the dust off the bottom, spray some of the dust out of the way, and you kind of get it clean, that's the opportunity, at least for me, to start organizing my wires again. Because I think I've upgraded this computer a couple of times, and when I did that, I would pull things apart, and then I didn't really put it back the way that it should have because I got kind of lazy.
Yeah, I saw you had some bread ties in there to kind of keep wires bundled together.
Exactly. Zip ties are your friends. So by the end of it, if you do it right, you can use as few zip ties as you can, but like get it to look clean. And then by the end of me cleaning it, I noticed about 10 degrees Fahrenheit difference from just idle.
Wow.
So a pretty big difference. Like I think I was idling around 100 degrees, and then I dropped it to about it will idle now around 80, 85.
And so I would imagine that would help with performance and speed and just kind of make your machine overall peppier, and then probably help it last longer too, right?
Yes, because heat will kill components. Like it'll kill hard drives, it'll kill a graphics card, CPU and stuff. Like you may have seen in that video, like I have a softball, I call it the softball heatsink on my CPU, and that's because I do some light overclocking on it, which generates more heat, but that's what will kill components. And we are in the summer months right now, and if your PC is kind of running crummy or it sporadically crashes or something, it might be overheating. That might be the issue. So definitely open it up and take a look. And actually one of our know-it-alls in the G+ group reported that something might have been living inside of his PC.
Do we have photos of this?
Yeah, if you open up the link, Burke, Jason Perry on the G+ shared what was inside of his PC.
What is that?
It looks like something was nesting in there. That looks definitely like a rat or a mouse was grabbing material and bringing it into the PC.
It's like a teddy bear exploded in there or something. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, the PC definitely didn't come like that.
No.
So, and that is a great way of a fire getting started too. So,
can you imagine that? Burning down your apartment or home or something?
Yes.
No, we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So regular cleaning out of your PC is a good thing to do. I use it as an opportunity to organize my cables and stuff after I'm done with it.
And I got to give you props, man. It looked great. Like, you had all your cables bundled together. There wasn't a bunch of loose stuff.
Well,
like, looking pretty streamlined there.
As much as it scratches my OCD itch and like aesthetically, I like it when all the cables are lined up and everything. It helps with flow too, airflow. Like,
good point.
If you imagine air as a fluidic kind of material instead of just like air, like you imagine water if it was water or something like that.
Everywhere that there's not something that you can see, air is there. Right?
Well,
so it's filling up all those spaces.
It's filling up all those spaces, and you want to clear those areas. So if there's a bunch of cables blocking the front of your CPU fan, or it's like a bunch of cables laying on top of your hard drives, that's just space that air can't pass over and clear the heat away.
It makes it harder for air to navigate and to move through your PC. You want air to flow, using the fluid analogy.
So like by the end of when I cleaned my PC, it was actually quieter too, because the fans didn't have to work as hard to keep the components cool. So now I have my computer on my desk next to me, which generally would bother me because it's like just droning. But now that I've cleaned it, it's a little bit quieter. It doesn't bother me as much. So
it's quieter. It's cooler, it runs better and faster, and it'll last longer. Like, it sounds like there's no downside to this.
There's no downside. The only thing is it's a pain because, I mean, I would recommend even too, if it's really bad, wearing a mask, because that dust can be kind of toxic.
Not what you want to breathe in. But at the same time, like, you know, the difference here is just don't be lazy, just do it, basically.
Pretty much. Make it like a yearly routine around the summertime to do it, because that's when your PC is going to be the most stressed, especially if you live in a home that doesn't have like AC or something like that. Like, I know you're from Phoenix.
I'm from Phoenix, and you got AC everywhere, but you still had, you know, it's also like the desert, it's dusty, you bring dust in. I mean, you got to keep your things clean. Now I'm in San Francisco where there's no AC, but because of that, we always have our windows open, and my place still gets dusty, you know? So it's like, whether you're living in the heat or whether living in the cool, you got to keep it clean, man. You got to keep it clean.
Keep it clean, and it, you know, I like it just because it makes me organize things again, you know, tinker with stuff.